loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25.
Trap! 250! Hot! D-line, get that quarterback, D-line! D-line, get that quarterback!
36! Check. Lucky!
Hey, easy!
A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Even. 4 down. Even. Check 26.
Middle!
Hey, zoom.
On second and 11 now. Stafford. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4.
Slant.
Hurry! All right, here we go.
The shotgun snap for Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. What does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, it makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup.
Check. Crunch.
Easy alert!
He's checking.
Look at him.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Tight end's right. You got 3 down.
From the gun, here's Stafford. Battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Now Matt Prater for the point after. It's up, it's good, and the Lions lead 7-0. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 18. Here's the man who's led the league in rushing twice in 3 seasons, Ezekiel Elliott. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain the next 2 to 3 seconds to continue to move people.
A run for Tony Pollard, the Memphis product. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Throwing. Prescott under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Deshaun Hand able to record his 5th sack of the season.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
After the sack on 1st down, Prescott got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 27 yards there, a first down. With Cole Beasley now in Buffalo, you think that might open up some more targets for Michael Gallup. Last year as a rookie, 33 catches for the Dallas Cowboys. A first down carry by Elliott. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. Cooper was the intended target, and now it's 3rd down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Prescott from the gun. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Cooper was the target there. No doubt a very disappointing end to what was a pretty strong opening drive.
They had 3 points in their back pocket. It was there for them. If you don't like what you see, just throw it away. Make sure you get those points on the board. Don't get too greedy. He forced it there. You saw the end result.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
They've got to do a better job up front and create some space because they're right there, almost literally on their own goal line.
Just a couple of feet away from a safety. That could have been disastrous. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Check 48's the mic. Check 48's the mic. Let's go one more. Check 24. Check 24. Check safety. Check safety.
From the end zone, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains. Now they can breathe a little easier. Some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd down. Stafford. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
Tie it left. 4 down. Check 43. Hey, check 24. Check 24. Check. Monday. Look at him.
Out of the gun, Stafford. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. 22 yards there, a first down. Stafford now already over 100 yards passing in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 39-yard line.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Omaha, ready to move.
55,
Go.
Here we go.
To throw is Stafford. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They'll step off the 5 yards.
Yeah, partner, you know, defensive end, he wants to get into the offensive backfield. He wants that get off to be as fast as possible. A little too quick on that one.
Good work that time to get him to jump, and now here's 1st and 10. Throwing is Stafford. Screenplay, Johnson. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down.
Begin.
Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. He finds his man Johnson. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. After 7-0 on EA Sports.
Cowboys nothing.
Stafford going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive.
Safety creep. Check hot route. Hot. Check three.
Here's Johnson.
Run.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
From the 22, Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Stafford now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10 on the ground. This is Johnson. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. The tackle by Robert Quinn.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Back. Switch,
Like 7.
check out.
Let's go.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford. This is caught. 11 yards there. First down.
They should have put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
First and goal at the 1-yard line.
Set. Lady.
Let's go, defense.
Zero.
Defense. Who you got? Wide. Get wide. Hey, watch it.
On the carry, it's Barton. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Nick Barton, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And when the smaller guy can't power it across the goal line, Charles, sometimes you need to go with the fullback. They did. It worked.
What's that thing about force and mass? How's that?
Oh, yeah. Force equals mass times acceleration.
Oh, that's big-time stuff. That's from the same guy the apple dropped on his head, right?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And that will be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
51 yards on the punt there. And the Lions will take over.
1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
The 36-yard line.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Watch the shift. Check the backer. Watch the shift. Hey, watch the shift. Out. Get on.
Johnson, and he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
We want it. Come to my world. Mike 48.
Hey, 5-0.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And that is incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Cooper's got it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
A gain of 15. First down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4. Prescott intended that time for Cooper, and it's 3rd and 4.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. On 3rd down, Elliott. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
And maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Check 40 got. 40 got. Watch the pass. White. Five. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Stafford. And this is caught by Curse. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. That one good for 26 and a first down. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
Middle. 61, matchbox lights. Hey, look, 48. Look, hey, we're going back to the 48 right now. Let's go.
I don't think you got it, son. Switch.
On first down, Stafford here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Hey, turn it out, turn it out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Here's Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. 23 yards the pickup there. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this, or he keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Hey, Delta.
Mike 54. Mike 54. You can't block me. You can't block me. Mike 54.
On 2nd and 12, Stafford incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Let's get off the field.
Hey, 70.
Sponge, sponge, sponge. No, no, no. 54 is Mike. 50 smooth. Check, check. Watch the hey. Man, I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you. Mike's 54.
Operating from the gun, Stafford. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Prescott, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Prescott to throw it. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense. Just flooded the field with defensive backs. Blanketed everyone. Took away all the passing angles. Thus, the incompletion.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
We taking wins home.
6 guys. Check 6 guys. He's coming. Double up, double up.
22. Slam.
Here's McKissick. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Matt Prater on for the field goal. A 46-yard attempt.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 34-yard line.
Here we go.
44 to Mike. I got one.
Here we go. 26.
On 2nd and 11 now. Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down.
And the Cowboy first
Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary. And I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
From the 40 now on second down. Prescott. That one complete to Elliott. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Set. 280.
Mike's 50.
Come on, boy. Come on, boy. You better be ready. Don't be scared of it. Check 32.
Check.
Uh-huh.
They will run it. It's McKissick.
Show it
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Let's get it.
Check, lady.
Right there in the middle. 55. Check, 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 check.
Hey, check right. Watching your five.
Coming. Under 10, under 10, 10.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. And that will be incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And out of bounds, this will depend on where they spot it, and they'll say at the 45.
At their own 45-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And in enemy territory last time through the interception. We'll see what they do on this drive.
Can't wait to see how it alters what they decide to do in play calling. Do they continue to throw the ball? Do they want to lean more on the running game? It'll be an interesting sequence of plays that they've got coming up.
Does it often affect the play calling with the interception? How much does that change what you do?
I think it does depending on why the interception was thrown. Sometimes it's just a matter of the defense made a great play, so you continue to come back. But if it's on you, if the offense just doesn't have the confidence, if they're a little bit shaky, maybe try and take the pressure off and run the ball a little bit.
7 yards there and a first down. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs, because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he worked.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. You think back to last year, Dak Prescott was sacked 56 times, second most in the league behind Deshaun Watson of the Texans. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Prescott now from the 50. That's Elliott, complete. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he'll have his man. That's Cooper. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Now back to the ground with Elliott. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Danny. Slam.
Here we go, 46.
They'll run with Elliott. And a nice pick up there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Cowboys cut into that lead. They go for just 1 here as it's up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
Let's go.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Jalen Smith, who took a huge step forward last year, in on the tackle for Dallas.
2nd and 6 at the 20-yard line.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Here we go. Check 4, check 4. You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there.
Back to throw, Stafford. Throw left side, taken in by Galladay. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Set. 180.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Here we go, D.
Easy alert.
Here I come again.
Put on.
Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15.
Here we go. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. Whip. Watch the whip. Check 15, check 15.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. And a nice run to get him past the original line of scrimmage. A gain of 7. It's 2nd and 8 now.
It's 2nd and 8 at the 46-yard line.
A 4-receiver look here. 3 out to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 8.
Check nickel.
Now Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Drill right, 22. Zero. Hey, Alpha.
Off of play action, here's Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Michael Bennett, the former Texas A&M Aggie, dropping the hammer.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Hey, Red. Hey, Charlie.
From the gun, here's Stafford. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And where did this one go out? Now they'll start with good field position, 45-yard line. Last year, Dak Prescott had 3 fourth-quarter comebacks, and he's in search of another one right now. A first down throw for Prescott. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. Touchdown, Cowboys! Austin Seferian-Jenkins. his second touchdown on the season, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard.
32! He's checking. Crash. Jim.
They go to Johnson again. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Danny Amendola, the man he was trying to get it to, but it's going to be second down. They'll try again from the 36 on second and 10.
48 to Mike.
I want that. Give me that 20. Hey, 22. Give me that ball, defense. Check 37. Check 37. Shoot.
Throwing again. Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half.
Zero.
On third down, Stafford. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Brings up second and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Here we go. Line in. Mike 50, Come on, dude.
Looking to throw on second down. Prescott being chased out left. He'll run it. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
He don't want it. Mike's 50. I'm here all day. Tight dog. We're going to 54. Line in.
On third down, it's Prescott. He's got his target. It's Cobb. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Cowboy first down. Prescott now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Hey, alert 3, alert 3.
Kill.
50.
You go 47.
Watch the run, watch the run.
26.
Prescott. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Prescott now. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, and especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to him.
Here's Prescott. He'll rifle this one deep right side, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Johnson. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Hey, Foxtrot. Here we go.
On 2nd and 12, Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for it. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Hey, check 24. Check 24. Check 39. Hey, easy. Check the car.
The shotgun snap for Stafford. Throwing deep for Galladay. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Pretty solid run here on 1st down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Here's Elliott. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. He's back to throw. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. Room to run inside the 40. And finally, down at the 36-yard line. 17 yards on the play there, and the Cowboys have a 1st down. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he'll be taken down at the 34. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Prescott. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down.
Hey, kill. 27.
Back to throw. And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to tie things up in the final minute. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will tie this game here in the final minute of play. So a big kick to get this back to even. Now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get into overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you. But you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
Hey, 50.
Now it's Stafford. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Safe. 32. Hey, seam 6. Check 3. No. Off.
Now Stafford. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. A carry now for McKissick. Despite a pickup of 16, they're still well short of the sticks on fourth. The Cowboys signal for their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Here's Sam Martin now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 28-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Here's Prescott. Going to take a shot for Gallup. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Prescott. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8. To be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 23. And we've got free football. 4 quarters done, and we're dead even. We'll have overtime after this timeout. So a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Here comes the first throw in OT for Prescott. Lets it fly deep for Cobb. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. Now a first throw here in overtime. And he whips that one incomplete there. The intended target, the tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Another nice job there defensively. They've really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressure in the quarterback's face. Good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back, and he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Prescott from the gun. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Trey Flowers make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They're able to put 3 on the board here on the opening drive of OT, and now up to their defense to try and see if they can hold this one.
I like how you framed it up, because obviously this game is not over, right? They go down and kick a field goal, then we head to sudden death. But if the defense can hold, take the ball away, turn it over on downs, this game's over.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline and puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
42!
Undercrush.
Zebra.
Back. Swiss.
10.
Stafford. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The sack by Robert Quinn.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Here's Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They get a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Throwing is Stafford. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Michael Bannon picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something in a 3-4 you don't normally get, because the nose tackle who got the sack, he's usually responsible or ends up getting double-teamed and sometimes triple-teamed. How about him working his way back and putting the big guy on the ground?
Another try after the first down sack. Stafford. And, oh, if he could have just clutched that and fallen to the ground, it's an overtime victory. Instead, incomplete. They sort of got a new lease on life there. If he picks that off, this ball game's over.
I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it. My defensive backs coach at Tennessee, a lost opportunity is never regained. Used to drive him crazy when I dropped those potential interceptions, as that one was there.
Hey, Haywood.
Third and long. It's Stafford. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
And here's your ball game. Down 3 in overtime, but they're going for this thing on fourth down.
Check. Zero. Fresno. Ready, hot.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
A big call here in overtime. They're going for it on fourth down.
It's our time. Kill.
70.
Kill.
Here we go on fourth. Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. DeMarcus Lawrence. And now the football's going to go over, already being placed at the 15-yard line. Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play.